Good afternoon. My name is Brady Bingman. I'm here today to persuade you that the foster child system in America is broken and needs a reform. What cause is more important than protecting our children? In this country, every day there are children begging for a home, trying to belong, or being ripped away from their family unjustly. This cannot be allowed to persist, and thusly the American foster system must be reformed. Personally, my life has been greatly affected by the American foster care system because it has been all around me. I have seen its flaws and miscues every single day, and I have seen the harm that comes from it. My family took in a foster child about 5 years ago, and to this day we're still fighting to keep him away from his abusive parents because the judicial system believes in reunification with the parents over protection of the child. The foster child system is in dire straits as there are children across the country suffering every day. However, the solution is within reach, and with a little help from normal, everyday citizens, it can be achieved. To begin, as members of a functioning society, we have the duty to look out for those who cannot defend themselves. This is especially true of the children. As it is currently situated, the foster system does not act in favor of the children. It does not promote what a child needs, which is family, consistency, and tranquility. As the medicalkidnap.com states, this profit for doctors, lawyers, judges, social workers, advocates, and more can only exist by taking more and more children away from their families. They do this, and then the children bounce around the system from home to home to home. And they just continuously keep these children in the system because it gains them more money and promotes more jobs and stimulates their little economy. The current system is incentivized for people to take on the foster children for profit. This leads to people getting into the system for their best interests and not the children. According to the Huffington Post, it costs the state about $4,279 to $4,516 a month for each child, with almost half of that going to the foster parent. The incentive to take a foster child should not be the monthly payment or the tax deduction. Parents need to be found whose interests are in protecting the children and giving them a warm home. If there is no vetting of caregivers, children become commodities. Over 28% of foster children spend more than 2 years in foster care. To quote the Heritage Foundation, sadly, for many tens of thousands of children and youth, foster care is more like a trapdoor than a safety net. They languish for years in multiple placements without the loving parents and permanent family that all children need and deserve. I'm going to read for you some statistics from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services in 2014. 415,129 children were in the foster care system as of 2014. 107,918 were waiting for adoption. The median age of the child in the system was 8 years old. As of 2014, 28,058 children had been in 7.5 years, or 7%. 8% were placed in an institution, 6% are living in group homes, 1% run away, 46% are in foster homes of a stranger, while only 29% are in foster homes of a known one or relative. Goals for 55% of the children is reunification with the parents. Long-term foster care is the case plan goal for 4%, and 5% do not even have a goal set, while only 25% is to be adopted to good parents. Continuing, currently there are not enough caseworkers to satisfy conditions. According to childrensright.org, as of 2003, children in metropolitan Atlanta foster care would often go 6 or more months without a visit from a caseworker. While that time frame has slightly decreased in Atlanta, this is still the same unreformed system. This time frame of social worker visits still happens across the country. There are simply not enough caseworkers being hired to properly monitor the safety of the children. To satisfy these children's needs, the system must be reformed. The judicial system must be completely overhauled. Children and families are waiting too long for answers. A strict time limit should be placed on permanent decision for the child. Trials must happen in a speedy fashion, and perhaps they could happen monthly. Group homes should be slowly eliminated, and only 3 options should be available: to go to a foster home, an adoptive home, or a pre-adoptive home. There should be no more long-term foster care plans, because that just lengthens the suffering of the child. The post-removal plans should be evident upon removal of the child from the home. Whether it is adoption or reunification, it should be known upon removal. The decision should be made that day. And of course, if there is extenuating circumstances, they should be able to change it. Legislation must also be put into place to watch for the well-being of the child instead of the well-being of the system. Reunification should not be the number one priority. Absolute safety and happiness of the child should come first. The suffering of a child must not be prolonged by multiple placements. Reunification with siblings should be a priority, but not a basis to decide placement. Strict drug abuse policy should be put in place for parents, guardians, and foster parents with monthly testing. Case decisions should be different from removal circumstances. If removal for poverty is if the child is removed because of poverty to the family, they should be given more time to get their circumstances better. But if they're taken away for child abuse or drugs, there should not be much time given because it's clearly an unsafe situation for the child. Also, the children's wishes should be taken into account. Through all the pain and suffering this system brings, successes can still happen. According to Fox News, recently in Georgia, 7 separated siblings who spent 1,359 days apart in separate foster homes were all adopted into the same home. With the involvement of citizens, this kind of success can become more prevalent and consistent. To help, you can contact your representatives, make it known to your representatives what they can do, and protect the children around you and do your part in the society. To conclude, for the safety and well-being of the children in our great country, this flawed system must be fixed. People can help bring about change by doing their part. Simply put, be the change you wish to see. Just think, what if it was a child in your family that had to go through this? How would you be feeling? Thank you for your time. I hope I was able to leave a lasting impression on your beliefs on the American foster system.